shows you're about to watch contain graphic adult content. Viewer discretion is advised. You're watching Hellfire TV. Hello. It's motherfucking Friday night again.
It comes around once a week.
We're with Lydia Manson. So, for all of you that are watching, I'm going to let Lydia introduce herself to all of you.
Hey, I'm Lydia. For those who don't know, I work for Scoops. I have my own show Thursday nights, Just the Deets. If you're not watching, I feel sorry for you. I'm just kidding. It's only been on for a couple months. Still getting my footing. But yeah, super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So you're a busy lady.
I guess.
Don't even play with me. You're like all over the goddamn place. Every time you text me, you're in another fucking state.
I'm going to be going to Tennessee in like 2 weeks to film a movie with our fellow coworker, Mike Katz.
Like I said, every time she texts me, she's in another fucking state. So, what projects do you have that you've done that are coming out soon-ish? Maybe? Anything? Something?
Keyword-ish. So I feel like I've done a bunch, but nothing is out, and I have no idea when anything will come out. I mean, you film a bunch of stuff, and then you just wait for it to come out.
Hurry up and wait. Everything is hurry up and wait on a movie set.
You just hope.
And then after you're done, it's hurry up and wait.
Yep. And then you're like, okay, well, did my scene actually make it into it? Did I end up on the cutting room floor? Like, am I actually going to get to see myself? Like it sucks. It's just a big waiting game after that.
It is. It's always a waiting game. I fucking hate wait. Oh, there we go. Johnny Perotti. He knows all about hurry up and wait. He was with me in Clown Motel 2. That is Hammy.
Yeah. So so I filmed The House That Eats Flesh, filmed an episode of Talking with the Dead, with our fellow coworkers. So,
yeah, you were with me on that.
Yeah, so we were there together. So you know how it is. I mean, how long ago was that? That was over the summer.
Yes.
I'm like, I recall it being rather warm.
It was during the day, and it kind of got a little cold at nighttime.
I did it. I mean, it was rather cold when I had to go through that waterfall. That
Oh, that was fucking hilarious.
was
I
super
have
fun though.
footage of that.
They sent me the actual, well, not the actual footage, but a video of it on the computer. So that was pretty cool. But yeah. So I mean
No,
that
no,
was fun.
I actually took video of you. Like, I know that
Being,
looks really wrong.
oh, you mean just like my head going up and down like that? Yeah, totally. Just a regular Friday night. Just kidding.
Every Friday night. Every Friday night. We're not talking about what's underneath my desk. Anyway, so what do you have coming up?
So in 2 weeks, I will be going down to Tennessee to film Reunion from Hell 2. So like I said, that's going to be with our coworker, Mike Katz. But we're also going to be filming with Lisa Wilcox, Mark Patton, and Danny Hassel from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So that's going to be super fun. Super excited for
Look
that.
at you, fucking big dog, hanging out with the fucking big people.
I'm just a regular gal, just trying to make my way in this indie industry.
Does it make you nervous?
And then next month, I will be going to Texas to be a vendor at the Cult Classic Convention. So I'm excited for that. So I'll get to see your friends, so I'll get to see Billy Pond there.
Yeah, all my homies. I love Billy. Love Billy. Go say hi to Billy. So
I'll have no idea who I am, but I'll just be like, I'm a friend. I'll be a friend. I'm a friend of Scoops.
Yeah, he'll know. So doing some of these bigger films with now some bigger stars, does that make you a little nervous?
So I got to work with Lisa Wilcox on The House That Eats Flesh, and I had an ongoing joke before we even filmed. So whenever I would do a podcast or whenever I would talk about the film, see, thank you, Rocking the House That Eats Flesh. I would always say that, you know what, I'm not going to be able to ask Lisa for a selfie or anything. So I had an ongoing joke that I would just be like, I'm going to pretend to take a selfie of myself with Lisa in the background, and that's how I'm going to get my photo. So when the time came to actually film the movie, because I was producer on the film, the director, Josh Graves, he was like, Lydia, Lisa's going to be on set today. I just want you to just be in charge of her. Just, if she needs anything, take care of it. And I'm like, you know what, Josh, I will take care of that for you. So Lisa came on set, and I'm just making sure, anything she needed. And everybody's coming up to her, asking her for photos. And I'm just like, hey, maybe we can just like let her sit. She just got here. So she was like, oh no, it's fine. I'm used to it. And I'm like, yeah, but you just got here. Like, maybe we can just like let you relax or something. So eventually, like, I never asked her for a photo, and it got towards like the end of the day filming, and I went and took my fake selfie with her in the background. So that's the only photo I have with her, except for our cast photo. So I really never even unintentionally, just because I just got so busy with stuff, I never even actually got my photo with Lisa. So my unintentional joke actually became an actual joke because I never even got my photo with Lisa. So this time around, I'm going to get my photo with Lisa. I don't care. I'm going to get
it. Hey, you kind of earned it. So, I'm
like, you know what? This is going to be the second movie with her. I'm going to get one photo. Like, that's my end all be all. Like, that's the only thing I care about this time.
I actually took whenever I did Hotel 2, I took a selfie with Eileen Dietz. And here's the shitty thing. I had no idea who she was. I knew she was in the movie. That's all I knew. And I didn't connect the two at all. And she came up, she's like, oh, you look really cool. Let's take a selfie. And I was like, okay. I'll take a selfie with this little old lady. And it's Eileen Dietz. Well, I feel like a jackass now. Thank you.
Well,
I'll find out when we go to have dinner with her later. That's when I found out who the hell she was. I'm like, wow, I'm an idiot.
Well, remember when we were on set for Z Dead End?
Yes.
Well, I was talking to one of the actors and we were just talking about so I like to watch gross YouTube videos like, like basically Dr. Pimple Popper stuff like that. So I was talking to him about that. And he was like, "Oh, I need, he liked to watch that stuff too." And I was like, "Oh, have you ever watched like the human bot fly removal videos?" And he was like, "No, what is that?" And I was like, "Well, let me show you." So I pulled out my phone and I pulled up a couple of those YouTube videos and started showing him. So Bill Diamond's set supervisor, I think it was, came over and started talking to him, and they were talking about Ninja Turtles. And so the actor I was talking to was like, "Oh yeah, I'll send you a couple comics, yada yada yada, all this stuff." And so the actor walks away, and I go over and I start talking to the supervisor, and I'm like, "Oh,
you're talking to John.
Oh yeah,
John McNally. Yeah, I love John.
So I was like, was he a Ninja Turtle?" And he was like, "Yeah, he was in the Ninja Turtles." And I was like, I was just talking to one of the Ninja Turtles about gross YouTube videos. And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, what do I do now?" And he's like, "Well, you go ask him for a photo." And I was like, I can't do that." He's like, "Yeah, you can." And I was like, no, I can't. I said, I'm too embarrassed. So I was just talking to, Johnny from Ninja Turtles about, gross YouTube videos. So then I had to go play it off like I knew who he was the whole time. So I went up to him later, like a few minutes later, and I was like, "Oh, like I'm super glad I got to meet you." Like, and then I asked him for a photo. But I was super embarrassed. But
I didn't know he was even there, so
I was talking to him, and so it just goes to, just start talking to random people about gross YouTube videos, and they just might be somebody you grew up watching on movies.
I know. You never ever know. I was like, I did a con, I guess a couple of years ago in Oklahoma City. I was getting out a bunch of boxes to take them in. And this guy was out there, and I went out to go smoke a cigar and take a break. And this guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, man, you got a lighter?" And I said, "Sure." I handed my lighter, and he lit up a cigarette. And we're sitting there talking about random bullshit and horror movies and shit. And I was like, I kept looking at him. I said, "God damn, you look. Has anybody ever told you look like a fat version of Edward Furlong?" And he goes, "I am Edward Furlong." My bad. Oh, shit. Hello. I don't matter. I'm going to leave this conversation now, but it was Edward Furlong.
Well, it's nice to meet you. Have a great night. I'm just going to walk away. All of a sudden, you just become that Homer gif where he just like walks backward into the bush.
Oh, yeah. You are talking about this one.
Oh, okay.
No! Yeah.
But I edited it.
Yeah. Marijuana leaves,
Mm-hmm.
Go a better way.
Yeah. I mean, I had to edit it. I mean, to fit, Hellfire and all that. Yeah, I had to.
Or, you could just be like me when, Bill Diamond gives you the tour of his studio and, he shows you the motorcycle from Spawn and you're just like, "Oh, can I sit on it?" And they're like, "No." And you're like, "Well, you know what? This is a terrible tour. Why did you even show me this?" And you're just like so unappreciative of seeing it. You're just like, "Oh, well, if I can't ride it, like, why am I even here?" Like,
I remember you getting the we were walking through and the tour and all that, and you were like a fucking little kid in a candy store, totally. Like the whole entire time.
No
like
shame.
I'm trying to contain it. Like I'm trying real hard
Nope.
to contain my excitement.
Not me.
And Lydia's like, fucking
I have to touch it.
out.
I have to touch it.
We come up on the what was it, the top of the bank from Back to the Future.
Oh, the clock.
Yeah, the clock, and she's like having absolute fucking meltdown. It was actually
good
kind of
times.
cute. It was funny. It was kind of cute.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, hold on. I gotta take a picture with it. And then I came back and I was like, hold on. I have to go back and touch it now. I'll be back.
We are going to take a real quick commercial break, boys and girls. We'll be right back in a minute with Lydia Manson. And you see all the pretty shit that we have going on with all of our shows that is provided to us by Hellfire Productions. Check them out, Hellfire Productions, AJ Productions, Carolina at Facebook. Anyways, so growing up, what was your favorite horror film and why?
Definitely Nightmare on Elm Street. I actually just literally had this conversation about half an hour ago with my friend. Because he was like, oh, well, like, what was your favorite horror franchise? And I was like, obviously you don't watch any podcast that I've ever done because you would clearly know it's Nightmare on Elm Street because I talk about it all the time. He's like, I do watch. I said, no, you don't. And then I was like, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. And he was like, oh, I could see that, because he knows how much I like serial killers. He's like, oh, I can see that because I think Freddy would be considered closest to serial killers. And I said, no, that's not why I like it, but I like your reasoning. I said, but the reason I like Nightmare on Elm Street is because I feel like it's the closest to reality. And the reasoning is because out of all of the horror franchises, I feel like our nightmares are the most realistic out of all of that because even as a child, like, what is the scariest thing, like our nightmares, growing up, you look back and you're like, what is something that scared you? Our nightmares. You woke up and you were scared of your nightmares, so Freddy was in your nightmares. So
right.
To me, I think that is one of the reasons why I like Nightmare on Elm Street so much, because at the center of it, it's the most realistic. And I think that's why that horror franchise in particular hits the best. Because
what you talk about being realistic? What about Halloween? Because Michael Myers was human.
Yeah, but how many times has he been stabbed and shot and he's still fucking alive?
This is true. Unpopular opinion. I don't like Michael Myers.
So, there we go.
I'm just saying. I
He's
don't.
He's not my favorite.
I like shit that has dialogue. I like the villain that has dialogue and an attitude. Give me some fucking sass.
That's why I like Freddy and I like Chucky.
See, Chucky's my favorite.
I don't
Chucky.
Obviously.
That's my homie. I love the fucking Chucky franchise. Love it, love it, love it. It is always going to be my favorite. Hands down, period, in the store. Now, I like Nightmare on Elm Street. Don't get me wrong. I like it. Freddy's got the same kind of attitude, but I feel like Chucky's better. then
those
there's
two I
Tiffany.
feel like go hand in hand. Because like I feel like I believe in like the occult and stuff. So what's wrong with you, Scoops? Well, I feel like that could be an entire show in and of itself. Felicity.
She knows. That's my manager. She's known me for 12 years. She's fully aware.
I mean, we could delve into that subject at any time. But so the whole putting a spirit into something, I feel like, who knows? Maybe given the right night and the right circumstances, who knows,
if I'm on my deathbed, I'm willing to give it a shot.
Right?
Let's do this shit.
I mean, and for those who follow me, like I cosplay as Tiffany, so obviously,
it's actually kind of fitting because the day that I met you, that is actually what you were wearing the day that I met you.
The day you met me, I was dressed as Wednesday.
Yeah. I came up and kidnapped you from the second floor.
You did.
I did. And I made everybody mad. I pissed off everybody. I gave 0 fucks. And she's like, who the fuck is this weird motherfucker talking to me?
I mean, I knew who Scoops was, but you came up as not Scoops. And I'm just like,
I know.
I'm just like, okay. You're like, hey, Lydia. And I'm just like, hey. I'm just going to touch everything at my table and just continue this conversation. Because he was just like talking to me like he knew me forever. And I'm just like, I have no idea who this person is. I felt so bad too. And I didn't want to tell you for the longest time that I had no idea who you were that day.
Until we got down to the table.
No, I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you for a couple months.
Well, I mean, you realize who I was once we got to the table and you see all those Fruits and Mischief stuff everywhere.
But like that first, like 10 minutes, I was like, I have no idea who this person is. Like,
well, yeah. I mean,
it was so awkward. I'm just like,
I thought it was fucking hilarious. It's even funnier for the fact that you didn't know who I was for like that entire time until we got downstairs. Then you realize who the fuck I was.
I mean, in all honesty, like terrible judgment on my part for just walking away with a stranger.
I mean, I could have killed you.
Yeah.
And I had help.
At that convention, really, that would have been the least of my worries.
This is true. This is definitely 100% true. There could have been way worse that could have happened at that convention with way worse people.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it.
Oh my gosh.
I was scared for my own well-being at that convention. Definitely.
I think we all were.
So getting back into doing indie horror and all that, what is the most embarrassing moment that you've ever had on set? I mean, be flat out the most embarrassing, and don't leave details out.
Honestly, I haven't really had like an embarrassing moment yet. When I'm on set, really, my main purpose is to make sure everybody is having a good time, and I just try to make everybody laugh. So when I was filming this short called The Dark Office, it was like 2:00 in the morning. We had been filming for like 10 hours. And the one producer, Paul, he has an obsession with cows. So yeah. So by that point we are all just exhausted. And this was the first time I had actually been on a set. So I'm like trying really hard, and I'm like, I want everyone to like me because that is my just that's my toxic trait, is I want everyone to like me all the time. So I try really hard to be accepted. So I'm like, what can I do to just like make everyone smile right now? And so obviously I know he really likes cows. So I just started like mooing. So of course, like the boom mic is like right next to my face. And I'm like behind the camera because they're like filming something. And I'm just like, moo. And the girl who's holding the slap, she just like turns and she's just like, did you seriously just moo? And I said, yes, I did. And the director, Jonathan Moody, he's just like, what? And I was just like, moo. And he's just like, when we got done filming, he comes up to me and he's just like, Lydia, he's like, thank you. And I was like, for what? He's like, because by now it's like 3:30 in the morning by the time we're wrapped and everything. And he's just like, by the time it gets like 2:00 in the morning, he's like, everybody's just kind of cranky and bitchy. He's like, and you just started mooing. He's like, so thank you for that. And I'm like, oh, you're welcome. And then when we were on The House That Eats Flesh, it was like 3:00 in the morning. And again, everybody's getting tired because we've been filming all day. So I came up with an idea. I had to run out with a Ouija board. This was my big scene. I ran out with a Ouija board, and I was just supposed to say, all right, who's ready? So I went around to everybody except for Josh, the director, and Carlos, the DP. They were the only two people I didn't go to. And I was like, all right, the key phrase is going to be, can we do one more take for safety? Now, when I say that, you're going to know that it's about to happen. So when I say that, instead of saying my line, I'm going to say, can I get an oh yeah? So when I say that, I'm like, I'm going to want everybody to say, oh yeah. So sure enough, Carlos is like, all right, we got it. Let's move on to the next scene. So I was like, Carlos, can we just do one more take for safety? He kind of like rolls his eyes and he's like, all right, Lydia, like whatever. So he's like, all right, one more take for safety. And he's like, all right, they call action and everything. I come out with the Ouija board and I go, can I get an oh yeah? Everybody goes, oh yeah. And you could just see the look on Carlos's face. Like he's so fucking pissed off that this just happened. Like he's legit rolling. And Josh is just like, you had everybody in on that. And I was like, yes, I did. And he's like, that's what you were whispering about. And I was like, yes, sir. And then like, you can like slowly see Carlos, his frown was like slowly turning into a smile. And he's like, I'm glad I caught that on camera. And I'm like, this is making the blooper reel. So that's just, I haven't had any embarrassing moments because like, I just try to make everything embarrassing to make people laugh. So I just try to make everything laughable. Cause my main goal is just to have everything be a blooper reel moment. I just constantly shout blooper reel and then try to do something stupid. So
you're lucky. I've been in 5 films and I'm pretty sure that I made the blooper reels at least 5 times on every fucking film. Because I am the most.
What has been your most embarrassing moment?
We're gonna get to that right after this commercial break.
Dun, dun,
All right, now with Tony Buck Effects, you guys have ever wondered about who makes my beautiful face? That is man. Go find him, Tony Buck Effects, on Facebook.com. My most embarrassing moment. Probably doing the movie Day of the Cicada with Dave Buell. So we were in Cincinnati, and it was a scene with myself and Mischief and Dietrich Thrall from the bass player from Lords of Acid. And there's a part where we are stoned and we are supposed to be getting attacked by the cicadas. And I freak out and I get up and he decapitates me with an axe. Well, first off, they brought a real axe to the set. Not a fake axe. Not a prop. A real goddamn axe. And I'm like, Dave, you want him to swing a real axe at my head? He goes, yeah.
Seems legit.
Okay. He goes, I just need you to duck and run at a certain point so we can catch it just right. And I'm like, Dave, you want me to let this man swing a real axe at my head and I'm supposed to duck at the right moment and run? He goes, yeah. Now it's been pouring fucking rain. It was supposed to be out in the woods, but we had to move it to a pavilion. Okay, Dave, I'll do this for you. So we go to do it. I slip. Not only did I damn near really get decapitated, I face plant right into the fucking concrete and skid across. Not once, not twice, but 3 times I bust my ass and face plant because it's wet as shit, and I'm trying not to get really decapitated by this man swinging a real axe at my head. This is what you're going to have to deal with if you do a film with Dave Baylor. There's not going to be no props.
I don't know if Dave is ever going to ask me to do a film.
I'm just saying, if he ever does, you better make damn sure that there's props and not the real fucking thing. Because it was horrifying. It was terrifying. Not only that, we had to work with real cicadas. First off, I'm scared shitless of bugs. I don't like flying bugs. I don't do bugs. I don't care. Call me a bitch. Call me a girl. I don't care. I don't do bugs.
Well, at least I don't have to worry about cicadas for another 19 years.
I know. And I'm sitting here thinking, I thought that we were going to, green screen them or something, or CGI, something. I'm like,
this is Indies. We can't afford CGI.
And I'm sitting there, and he is like, fuck, he got this hand. I'm like, what's in your hand? He's like, cicada. Why? Because you're going to hold it. I'm like, I was not paid nowhere near enough money to hold that damn thing. First off. He's like, oh no, wait, yeah, we everybody is. So not only do I have to hold this thing, Abby was on set, who you worked with Abby on Tokyo with the Dead. They covered that poor girl.
Oh, and she's so sweet.
They covered that poor girl in cicadas for her scene. And I was like, oh hell no. I would have shit my pants right then and there. She did it. She did it like a trooper. But I would have shit my pants. There's no fucking way. No. So moving on. If you could work with any one horror icon that had to be alive, who would it be and why?
Horror icon.
Hmm?
I would love to work with Elvira.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Right?
Just say it. I am thoroughly convinced that she is a vampire.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly convinced.
Definitely.
She's like 70-something years old and still looks like she's 30. You tell me everybody would still bang her. Everybody to this day.
I volunteer as tribute.
I'm telling you, like,
And she just came out as gay. So you're saying there's a chance?
no, seriously, put a fucking picture of her from her 30s next to a picture now, and please tell me that there's almost no difference. I'm kind of jealous.
I just got my Elvira Funko Pop, so I'm super excited.
There's no fucking. You cannot tell the difference between her now at like, what is she, like 72, 73, something like that. Either she's discovered the secret of life.
She's just bathing in the blood of virgins, I think, at this point.
Or she's a fucking vampire. You cannot tell me otherwise. Please, somebody prove us wrong. Somebody.
Yeah, she's
like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves doesn't fucking age.
And he's just he's so like sweet and like kind, you know, like he's just so genuine too. Like, you know, and he's just so down to earth.
I know he's like fucking Nelson Mandela, or like a fucking the next greatest thing to a Buddhist monk. Just saying. Anyway, so if you could work with one horror icon that is dead, who would it be and why?
Alfred Hitchcock.
I did not see that coming.
I am a huge fan of old black and white horror films.
I definitely did not see that coming.
You know, I don't like to be predictable. So yeah.
Well, you definitely were not without one.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of his films, so
Okay.
I think it'd be great to work with him.
So you are also a singer.
I like to sing. Whether I'm that good is debatable.
All right.
You know, I'm super self-conscious about it, Scoops.
I've heard you sing. You are fantastic. If there's any hard rock bands out there around New York area that need a singer, you can contact her.
Let's just put her on the spot. No big deal.
Find her at Lydia Manson on Facebook. She'll answer you immediately.
Let's not say immediately.
Probably not. She travels more than I do. I don't really travel anymore. I don't leave. I just stay in my seclusion of South Carolina on this island, and I don't go anywhere, and I don't do anything.
My traveling is gonna be slowing down. Gonna be doing
when?
After these next two, it's gonna be slowing down.
See, by the way your eyes are moving, I don't think that is exactly the truth.
No, it is. It is.
Why?
We'll talk about it.
Oh, okay. So, my last question for you for the night. My last question. This is a big question. If somebody came to you and said you can play any role in any horror film that has ever been done, you could even go back in time and be the one who plays that role, what role and what movie would it be?
Oh, so a role that has already been done.
Yes.
That's a good one. I like that question. I'm gonna have to use that next time. Proud of you.
Thanks.
You know, I think I would like to play Carrie.
That's fucking cool. It's not what I expected, but that's fucking cool.
Expect the unexpected. Yeah, I think I would like to play Carrie. Like Sissy Spacek Carrie.
I actually expected you to say like Lydia from Beetlejuice. Is what I actually
no. I don't even consider Beetlejuice horror, actually. I mean, it's in
I consider it
on the outer
like
skirts
a horror
of
theme.
horror genre. It's on the outer skirts. I don't consider it like in the main core.
I feel like it's just horror themed.
Yes, I mean, do I absolutely love it? Yes, but yeah, I think Carrie would be an absolute amazing role to play. I think it would be very challenging and that's what I would really like about it. Because, you know, it would start off very quiet, reserved, and I think it would take a lot to get into the you know, where she has to really get into the whole point of, you know, channeling her telekinesis and stuff like that. I think that would be a very challenging role, and I think that would be awesome. I think that would be a very good role.
I actually like the remake better with Chloe Moretz. I love her.
You know what? I don't know if you've ever seen the sequel, The Rage 2. I really like The Rage 2 a lot.
I've seen it, but it's been a very, very long time since I've seen it.
I like
very
that
long
a lot.
time since I've seen it. Yeah, very, very long time. Anyways, boys and girls, we have ran out of time tonight. Please, please, please go on Facebook, find Lydia Manson, like her Facebook page, keep up with the stuff that she's doing. I will be back next Friday with It Doesn't Fucking Matter. Actually, it's Dave Bailey. I'm sorry.
Oh, Dave is so nice.
Anyways, no, it's not Dave Bailey. Actually, Dave Bailey's not till next month. I'm sorry. Oh, it's Mr. Gates. Hip hop artist Mr. Gates will be on with me next week. But until then, we are getting the fuck out of here. Y'all have a great Friday night. Don't drink and drive. And if you're going to do nasty shit, wrap your tool. Good night.
Toodles. Thanks.
Fuck you. When I'm screaming, fuck you. Middle finger in the air, but no one wanted to hear what you screaming. Fuck you too. I'm running this stratosphere in a brand new atmosphere. I wanna go and shoot to the campus clear, cause I never thought I would've made it out of here alive. From the land where the people put the evil and night ride. You'll never see an equal to my kind, so blind to anything to line the life to mind is right now. Looking for another mind to pipe out, bringing everything that you can bring down to the ground like 150 pounds of C4, looking for keyboard thugs. Well, I'ma need more slugs, cause I wanna see more blood. You ain't never seen gold like us. They don't wanna make them any more like us. Put them on tour with the paint on, hoping that anybody can know your little lame song. Fuck right, I'ma stay wrong. Black out with a ray gun, looking for anybody to make up. Motherfuckers really need to wake up. There's nothing really you can say. It's never gonna change my mind. I'm on some fuck that shit today. Fuck it, I don't care. Middle fingers in the air. Only count is up in here. Only count is up in here. Fuck it, I don't care. Middle fingers in the air. Only count is up in here. Only count is up in here.
Fuck that! I said fuck this shit. I was born a son of a a bitch and always talk a whole gang of shit. Even know that I wouldn't work spit. Now till I became a bastard. Whole world revel in the wake of my damn disaster. Had to talk to a pastor. Told me sit down, handle my shit, and try to figure out what the fuck's really the matter. Ain't animosity, only nigga and wicked is the last. A victim from your own personal premises. I never know peace is an emphasis. Therefore, cover up all my scars and all my blemishes. These